Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here today. It's my pleasure to introduce Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin III and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley. The Secretary and the Chairman will each deliver opening remarks, and then we'll have time to take a few questions. I will moderate those questions and call on journalists and would ask that we limit follow-ups due to our tight schedule. Thank you for your assistance with that, and over to you, Secretary Austin.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for joining us today at Ramstein. We've just concluded the 8th Ukraine Defense Contact Group meeting, and it was great to start the new year by deepening our coordination as we work together for Ukraine's self-defense. As President Biden has said, this is a decisive decade for the world. And this is a decisive moment for Ukraine's struggle to defend itself. So this contact group will not slow down. We're going to continue to dig deep, and based upon the progress that we've made today, I'm confident that Ukraine's partners from around the globe are determined to meet this moment. The United States remains committed to leading in this coordinated effort. And this morning, I was pleased to announce another major round of U.S. security assistance designed to meet Ukraine's urgent battlefield requirements. And this $2.5 billion package is one of our largest yet. It helps Ukraine meet its air defense needs with additional NASAMS munitions and 8 Avenger air defense systems. And this package also helps tackle Ukraine's urgent need for armor and combat vehicles. It includes 59 additional Bradley infantry fighting vehicles and 90 Stryker armored personnel carriers, 53 MRAPs, and 350 up-armored Humvees. And it will provide thousands more rounds of artillery. Now, we were honored to hear this morning from President Zelensky of Ukraine. And let me also thank several other brave Ukrainian leaders for joining us today. And that includes my good friend, Minister Oleksiy Reznikov, the Minister of Defense, and Lieutenant General Moishuk, the Deputy Chief of Defense. Their presentations gave us a firsthand account of what Ukraine's military and citizens are facing. Today's meeting focused on Ukraine's needs for air defense and armor. We also pushed hard on how to synchronize those donations and turn them into fully operational capabilities. And that means every step from donation to training to maintenance and then to sustainment. We also focused hard on how our collective and individual training efforts would be prosecuted. So, as you heard, President Biden recently announced the latest U.S. training initiative, and it builds on U.S. programs to train Ukrainian troops dating back to 2014. Other countries are stepping up with their own initiatives, and many are joining the European Union's military assistance mission. And meanwhile, we're also continuing to strengthen our defense industrial bases through the work of the National Armaments Directors under the auspices of this contact group. And all of these efforts underscore how much we've deepened our cooperation since the contact group began last April. Our work shows how much nations of goodwill can achieve when we work together. And it shows our long-term commitment to supporting Ukraine against Russia's unprovoked aggression. Now, as we saw again just days ago in Dnipro, Russia continues its assault on Ukraine's civilian and critical infrastructure. And Russia continues to bombard Ukraine's cities with cruise missiles and drones. But the Ukrainian people stand defiant and strong. And Ukrainian troops are bravely defending their country and their fellow citizens. As Russia's cruelty deepens, the resolve of this contact group grows. And that's clear from the announcements that we've heard today. And I'll start with air defense. Several countries have come forward with key donations that will help protect Ukraine's skies and cities and citizens. And France, and Germany, and the UK have all donated air defense systems to Ukraine, and that includes a Patriot battery from Germany. And that's especially important coming alongside our own contribution of a Patriot system. And the Netherlands is also donating Patriot missiles and launchers and training. And meanwhile, Canada has procured a NASAM system and associated munitions for Ukraine. And so these air defense systems will help save countless innocent lives. We're also pushing hard to meet Ukraine's requirements for tanks and other armored vehicles. The UK has announced a significant donation of Challenger 2 tanks for Ukraine. And this is the first introduction of Western main battle tanks into Ukraine. And I also commend our British allies for making this decision. And Sweden announced it's donating CV-90 infantry fighting vehicles and an additional donation soon of Archer howitzers. We've also heard inspiring and important new donation announcements from several other countries, and that includes Denmark, which will donate 19 howitzers. And Latvia is donating more Stingers and helicopters and other equipment. And Estonia is providing Ukraine with a significant new package of much-needed 155mm howitzers and munitions. Now, all of today's announcements are direct results of our work at the contact group. And these important new commitments demonstrate the ongoing resolve of our allies and partners to help Ukraine defend itself. Because this isn't just about Ukraine's security, it's also about European security, and it's about global security. It's about the kind of world that we want to live in. And it's about the world that we want our children and grandchildren to inherit. The members of this contact group are standing up for a world where rules matter, and where rights matter, and where sovereignty is respected, and where people can choose their own path, free from tyranny and aggression. And I'm confident that this group will remain united, and we'll continue to build momentum. We'll support Ukraine against Russian aggression for the long haul, and we'll continue to work toward a free and secure Ukraine in a stable and decent world. And with that, let me turn it over to the chairman for his comments.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Secretary Austin, for your leadership in this 8th Ukrainian contact group in support of Ukrainian freedom. And thanks as well to all the ministers and the CHODs, the chiefs of defense that were here, who represented 54 different countries today. A special thank you also to the Ukrainian Minister of Defense, Ryzhikov, and Deputy Chief of Defense, General Moisek. I had recently had an opportunity to meet with General Zaluzny in Poland, and General Moisek was here representing him. They all represent the exceptional bravery of the Ukrainian Army, and most importantly, the Ukrainian people. This week, after meeting General Zaluzny, I had an opportunity to visit some of the training and the mech infantry that we are doing at Grafenwehr here in a training area in Germany. Also had an opportunity to do some coordination meetings in Wiesbaden, and then attended the NATO CHODs military committee meeting where all the members of all the CHODs of NATO had an opportunity to meet, with one of the primary topics being support to Ukraine. And then, of course, this week, ending it today, this week, with the contact group. I think that over my 43 years in uniform, this is the most unified I've ever seen NATO, and I've dipped in and out of NATO over many, many years. The war has evolved over the last 11 months, but the mission of this group this contact group under General Austin's leadership, under Secretary Austin's leadership, has remained the same. We are effectively committed to support Ukraine with capabilities to defend itself against the illegal and unprovoked Russian aggression. In the words of President Biden, Secretary Austin, and many other national leaders, as much as it takes for as long as it takes in order to keep Ukraine free, independent, and sovereign. These contact group meetings play an important role as we support Ukraine in the defense of its territory, and they are a clear, unambiguous demonstration of the unity and resolve of the allied nations. Yesterday, as Secretary Austin just mentioned, President Biden released our 30th security assistance package, signifying our continued commitment to Ukraine. This package, combined with our previous one, includes combined arms maneuver capabilities with supporting artillery, equivalent to at least 2 combined arms maneuver brigades or 6 mech infantry battalions, 10 motorized infantry battalions, and 4 artillery battalions, along with a lot of other equipment. This package, this U.S. package, along with the Allied donations that were indicated today, signify our collective resolve and our commitment to Ukraine to protect their population from the indiscriminate Russian attacks and to provide the armor necessary to go on the offensive to liberate Russian-occupied Ukraine. Additionally, this week in Germany, we began battalion and brigade collective training that I had an opportunity to visit at the Combined Arms Maneuver Training Center here in Grafenwehr in support of the Ukrainian Army. That training, in addition to the equipment, will significantly increase Ukrainians' capability to defend itself from further Russian attacks and to go on the tactical and operational offensive to liberate the occupied areas. With the training that the United States and our partners are doing, the Ukrainians will advance their command and control, their tactics, techniques, and procedures, their ability to integrate fires with maneuver, and they will more effectively synchronize all of the combined arms in order to execute maneuver-based operations. The support that we discussed today in this contact group meeting, the training that we discussed today and the way ahead, is really an extension of what's been going on since 2014, and today signifies a very real and tangible difference in the Ukraine's efforts to defend itself. International aggression, where large countries use military force to attack small countries and change recognized borders, cannot be allowed to stand. Eventually, President Putin, Russia, will realize the full extent of their strategic miscalculation. But until Putin ends this war, his war of choice, the nations of this contact group will continue to support the defense of Ukraine in order to uphold the rules-based international order. Thank you, and I welcome your questions.
Thank you.
Ja, genau.
On sound check? Yeah.
Excuse me, sir? Can you do me a favor and hold this?
Muss dann wieder jemand aufstehen?